have got the topic that's it is known as the Shat Sambati in Adi Shankara's, that's the crest level of wisdom, and at the feet of the master there is known as the good conduct. The first two topics will be covered by N. Surendra Babu Teja, who belongs to the Agila Seema Federation, and he is a member of the Shambhala Lodge. Officially, he is working with the Bank of Baroda as the marketing department, and he joined Theosophical Society in 2016. So I invite Brother Surendra Babu Teja to present the first two, that is Shama and Dhamma, or control of action and control of mind.
Can you start? Namaskarams to all my elder brothers and sisters who are residing here. I have come from Shambhala Lodge, which comes under Rayalaseema Theosophical Federation. So I was into this Theosophical Society since 2016. So I was continuing my journey. So in part of my journey, what it means to become the path. Was the path can be visible? Is there any path really that is existing? These terms I was keep on searching, and in search of path, one must possess good conduct. Conduct comes from conductor. Conductor means nothing but this physical body. If you feel this physical body as a conductor, only through good conductors the electricity passes. The electricity passes only through good conductors. One must think that whether are we a conductor or we an insulator to have that good conduct. If conductor, can I conduct that much which flows through me? If no, then I have to enlarge the capacity of my conductance, just like a cable which is designed for 230 volts, and it cannot be plugged through a 10,000 volts of current. So what happens, all we know. In the same way, to assimilate the higher frequencies and vibrations which are downpouring from the far off worlds, in order to sensitive and receptive, we all must become like a good conductors of that flow of energy. And the pathway to perfection, actually this is meant, it's a commitment to an idea or an ideal, a vision related to human welfare, human upliftment and human survival. Throughout history of the past, it promotes human progress and protect humanity from the dangers of ignorance, inertia, distortion and destruction. This is, we can observe in each and every part of the world, lot of destruction and distortion. In many other forms it's happening. The perfection can be attained through the manifestation of goodness, cultivating goodness, righteousness, right human relations, joy, freedom, striving and sacrifice. When we can manifest these things by cultivating our heart, and heart resides in the higher mind, as it is the vibrator or the transmitter of the energies. By cultivating beauty and goodness, a great sage says, beauty shortens the road. Here road billions of times coming and going. What it is going to shorten? It is going to shorten our incarnations from billions to might be thousands. So one must, who wants to enter the path, it's a must and should. What they have said in the teachings of ageless wisdom is, one must cultivate beauty, goodness and righteousness. An individual who enters the path never tries to make anyone a slave. And not even, he does not make himself a slave. He tries to make people free. People grow only in freedom. The freedom, the mental freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom, all these three freedoms, it leads to a conscious freedom. Why? Because life is like a flowing river. In order to assimilate or flow with that flow, one should flow like a currents to abstract the currents of that river, or else he will be thrown out of that river. Freedom means, in other words, we can say control of our own physical body, the mastery of our own physical body. One should analyze why the sicknesses and diseases are coming. Because of ill will, evil thinking, selfish activities, lack of selfishness and gratitude. And there are five thick walls that are preventing not to enter the path. Humanity is fear, hatred, anger. The most beautiful thing, we should not call it as beauty, it's a jealousy part, and revenge. Actually, the image within us is the image of perfection. A great architect created a model and put it in our seed or in our core as a seed. And this seed needs unfoldment. As we unfold petal by petal, leaf by leaf, branch by branch, eventually we become that model that is within us. And for unfoldment, light is required. And that required light comes through, as we have earlier discussed, light is freedom. True freedom is the unlimited radiation of light. Every act against freedom is an act against that light. Man advances, why? Because the light radiates. The inner light cannot stop radiating. It will grow increasingly with an enormous speed and destroy the walls of darkness and limitations. It overcomes all limits, and slowly, after series of incarnations, gradually man realizes who he is and find himself in that greater light, overcoming the limits of matter, the limits of this personality, by conscious, continuous striving with continuous efforts. A great labor should be performed on each and every moment and each and every aspect of his life. Why? Because the seed needs, which was created and kept it in us, it needs lot of unfoldment. Unfoldment is entering the path. And unfoldment happens through beauty, goodness. Most of the actions of the personality are automatic and mechanical. They were not consciously done. We speak on this level and we react on another level. Why these cleavages are coming? the pathway of perfection is not easily achieved. It requires continuous hardship and struggle, pain and crisis. Pain and crisis can be eliminated through service and sacrifice. The age-long habits of the personality do not yield easily, and man passes through a great depression. Depression in the form of conflicts and in the dark nights. These things comes because the path of perfection is of light. It creates friction in the substance of the three worlds: the mental world, the lower mental or the lower quaternary, the physical, emotional. It leads man to passes from one crisis to another crisis. That means, as we discussed earlier, leaf by leaf, branch by branch. In that sense, one crisis to another crisis. The reward for more work is, good work is more work. In that way, the reward for big hurdle is a bigger hurdle, that where we can pass through, until gradually a rhythmic vibration permeates the three bodies simultaneously, man to achieve, to conquer the lower quaternary and to be with his inner self. When man enters the path of personality, he sees things as they are. All prejudices and concrete thinking, concrete mind, crystallizations, all these things will be eliminated from his lower quaternary. Mind becomes illumined. It creates group consciousness, to work for a group, to create a better group which for the survival and upcoming humanity to progress and evolve. A sense of unity will be added as a gift to his personality. Synthesis and tolerance. When man learns to control his mind, he can use it as a searchlight. When man controls to his mind, he can use it as a searchlight for deeper truths, deeper assimilations of the energy which are flowing from the far off worlds. He starts to look beyond the mental field and experiences great expansions of consciousness, leading from the unreal to the real. Our understanding is the result of our knowledge, experience and wisdom. All the misunderstanding of life is due to differences in levels. As we discussed, we think and feel on one level and we act on another level. We speak on this level and we get angry when the answer comes from another level. Higher level people, that means the controlled or illumined mind, they will be filled with love and sacrifice, while the lower quaternary is filled off with hate and jealousy. हो गया सर, टाइम हो गया. Yeah. Not only, I will finish it off, just 1 minute. Not only people live on different levels, that each person has different levels in him, within his own being, and his life upon which either he descends or he ascends. The existence of the levels teaches us the importance of tolerance, open-mindedness, freedom of thought, and deep aspiration to be ready to accept others, and not only others, to the higher truths. We can consider this as our basic keys, which will open for us the door of the next level. Time is progress. Those who do not raise their level, they will be disintegrated. And last but not least, to become perfect, perfection must fight against imperfection to make it perfect. As Christ said, as you all know, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Man does not fight against anyone, he fights against within himself. That himself is his imperfection to become perfect. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity. I thank you all, my dear brethren and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Surendra and Babu Teja, for presenting this topic. And now I have to invite Dr. Basavaraja Reddy, who is the former president of the Rayalaseema Theosophical Federation, and now he is a member of the Bellani Sangma TS and also the president of the Lodge. And he is a master of the veterinary science and a long-standing member of TS. Thank you. He will be presenting on the good sambati or the good conduct, number 3 and 4, that is tolerance and cheerfulness. Sorry.
My dear, lovely brothers and sisters, I am an unscheduled speaker now. My name was not there. The theme selected for this conference is Path to Perfection. So how to become perfection is one thing, why we should become perfect. These are the two things. So when we think in that line, JK will come into picture. He was trained to become perfect and become the disciple of masters. To knock the door of the masters, you must have to have perfection. So in what way you are able to develop that perfection? Here comes the book at the feet of the master. So we all know that discrimination as to what is real and what is unreal, that has to be understood first. That gives a clue that we should become desireless. All the desires should be dissolved because it creates the conflicts and confusion. So then comes the 6 conducts, Shat Sampatti. So control as to the mind, that is very important. Control as to the action. And then third comes the tolerance. And the fourth is be cheerful. I want all of you to be cheerful. In order to be cheerful, you must have to have a tolerance. That word tolerance is used by common people and seers and saints. But still we are unable to gain that tolerance. We are always speaking about tolerance, which is not there. So the human tendency is to know what it is not there. So JK will tell, don't go after all those things which are not in the society. You are in a state of intolerance. Why do you go for tolerance which you don't know? You see what is intolerance. If you are able to understand what is intolerance, you will certainly get tolerance. That is how the JK's way of life is there. There, what we do when we pick up a particular character, when we are unable to face that, we will take a deviation from that subject and we will let it go and we will select some other thing. That is escapism. What J.K. calls this as escapism. You have no strength to face what is causing that intolerance. As you go deep into the subject, what are the different causes that are causing this intolerance? Why we are becoming intolerant? It may be at a religious level, at a spiritual level, or at our daily life. So we are the products of your nature. Nature has mainly two contributing factors. One is matter, another is spirit, which are deadly against. They are not against, that are one is helping other, but the presentation is like that. We condemn the material and we try to uphold the spirit which is of consciousness. Matter is of characters. Triguna. This matter has three gunas, characters. We all know all these things. But how to interpret is a problem. So when man has come from animal, he has taken the animal body into which the soul from Shiva has entered in and give you the causal body. You become an independent individual or a person by the transfer of body into which the third logos enter into that. He is ignorant. Just like an animal, he is ignorant in the initial stages. And slowly his mind is working on all the experiences what he gains in the environment and with the relationship with all the life that is around him. Those experiences has taught him a lesson. So as to what is good and what is evil. So man, he doesn't know what is good and what is the evil. It is in a mixed state. Matter has very less consciousness, as we see in the mineral matter, and it slowly triggers in the plant, and it slowly comes to some activity at animals. It will fully establish at human level. So the man is in the initial stages is totally controlled by the matter. So matter has three characters, that is tamo, rajo and sattva. So from that tamo to rajo, he has to be motivated. That motivation may be from outside or the motivating these things are there. They stimulate that particular body to be active. It is rather, I can say, the madaka vastu or the not drugs, which stimulate that activity, maybe in liquors. There is no, I don't find an immediate alternate word for that. Narcotics, it reduces, it not stimulate, but there are certain, even food articles, all of a sudden I am unable to get the particular words. So they stimulate and you will become more active. And from active, you will learn all your activities. There you will be confused as to what it is what. So there comes the discrimination. The mind analyzes it. So after analyzing it, the mind slowly working, motivated by the this the astral body. Actually, mind is built up by the repeated activity of the astral body. That is there in the study of consciousness by Annie Besant. How the mind is built by the repeated activity of astral body. And this astral body is developed by the repeated activity of the physical body. There is a connection. They are not independent as we study. This is cheerfulness, this is tolerance. No, it is not that. Everything is intermixed. We are with the ability of our capacity, we are slowly developing from the permanent atoms or the hidden atoms by way of consciousness we are enlarging. Here two words are very important. One is at the initial stage, it is a transformation. It is more at a lower level. That is at the lower trinity, transformation is more and consciousness is very less. At the higher trinity, it is the consciousness which plays a prominent role and the content of the matter is less at a higher level. So transformation and this conscious change, they go hand in hand. When you look at the structure, septenary structure of a human being, each plane, 7 planes, each have a subplanes also. For example, if you take a physical plane, there are also physical matter is more, but in addition to that, some portion of all the other 6 ingredients are there in the physical body. So how this physical body can be perfected? There is also a buddhi component in the physical subplane. Using that subplane of consciousness or buddhic subpart, your physical body can be developed to the perfection. Over. I have not made you too cheerful. Anyway, I have to tolerate with the time. Tolerance means because there are many religions, no? Each religion has its own principle, so there will be conflict. So the conflict is so much, they have gone to the level of wars. Even now also that Israel war is going on just for the sake of this religious matter only. So it is not only at the lower level, this tolerance and intolerance is there, but also at a higher level also it is there. Till the last minute of your getting liberated, you are charged by the matter, but in a minute way. The monad is covered by a minute layer of prakriti, mula prakriti, and it descends, as it descends down, the spirit level going to reduce and the materialistic part will take a more contribution. So in this way, the lower trinity is totally dominated by matter and the higher trinity is dominated by spirit. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for your wise presentation. Anyway, it requires more time. We are constrained with that. Now the last speaker is Brother by Srinivas Murthy. He is a member of the Sri Krishna Theosophical Lodge, Gundur. He had his B.Tech in engineering, and he is a Master of Computer Science from Osmania University. And he is a software engineer. He is a philanthropist and self-employed. Now he will talk on the last two of the good conduct.
Namaskarams, brethren. Namaskarams, masters who lived and walked in this society, and Namaskarams, masters who of the other path, who is leading consciousness from the other paths. So, okay. Hello. Namaskarams to all. So, the topic I am going to cover is one-pointedness and confidence from the good conduct given by Alcian. So, what we must focus on master's work. So that is what the one-pointedness. If you have one-pointedness, we can focus on the master's work without any deviations or distractions. So it may be achieved through a meditation, or it may be achieved through bhakti, or it may be achieved to kriya. And so this one-pointedness, if you look at itihasas, for example, Harishchandra is it. So he, in spite of to keep his promise to be on the path of the truth, he donated his entire kingdom. He sold his wife and son for slavery, and he himself sold to Chandala to keep his promise, to keep his debt. And when his son, when he also tried to collect the tax from his wife for the cremation of his son, when for his master. So, in spite of those so many distractions, he never deviated from his path of truth. Similarly, Prahlada also. So, he was thrown from the cliff. He was crushed by the elephants. He was beaten by the snakes to deviate from his devotion to the Lord Vishnu by his father. But he never did, and then he sustained, and then he attained this. He attained to the higher levels. So what we should do to be in the one-pointedness? So we always should be in the higher dynamics or higher dimensions of consciousness, to be in this one-pointedness, or to be in the path of the masters. For example, if you are thinking about yourself or your body, you are in the first dynamic. So imagine, like we are just, imagine the universe, we imagine ourselves physical level. So we are very small, very, very small dots when you look at the place, when you look at the country, when you look at the planet, when you look at the solar system, when you look at the galaxy. What we are just a small, tiny, very, very tiny particle which we cannot we cannot imagine also. If our consciousness is in our self or in our body, so we are in the first dynamic, which leads to a lot of distractions, and your space will be reduced to a tiny dot. If you think about your family, if you think about your relatives, you are in a state of second dynamics, where your consciousness bit increased, but still you have a lot of things to handle. So you may be handling only the issues which are coming from your family and then your relatives. If your consciousness is going to the society or to the region or to the country, so you'll be handling all the problems which are faced, or you will be handling the issues which are coming from this dimension. That's in the third dimension. So as you are going up in the dimensions, so your consciousness will go up, and then your space increases, and your focus will be on a task, on the path of the masters. Similarly, if you look at human race, from the fourth dimension is a human race where you will be handling, or you will be communicating with all the human race on the planet. So you will be at the fourth dimension, so your consciousness will be there at that level. If you look at all the kingdoms of the planet, for example, animals, plants, and then entire humanity. So you are at the fifth dimension where you can handle, or you can solve the issues which are coming from all these dimensions. Similarly, if you look at planets, if you constantly much higher, if you can communicate with the planets, stars, galaxies, and universe, so you will be at very higher level of consciousness, and you will be very much focused, and you will be in the master's path. And similarly, if you look at spiritual dimensions, you can communicate with spirits, or you can face you can solve the problems which are coming from the dimensions. And of course, the final one, eighth dimension, is the God state. So higher the dimensions, so your consciousness will be higher, your space will be more, and you will be at a causal level, and and you can solve, or you can stick, or you can do any kind of you can work on any part, and you will be the path to the masters. You will be an instrument to the master. Similarly, if you for example, if you are what happens if you are in a lower state of dynamics in the self, or first 3 or 4 dynamics, what will happen? So you'll be distracted. You'll be distracted because you are not communicating with huge section of the universe. So you'll be distracted, or because these are all unknown sources for you, you'll be distracted from those dimensions. So it may result in ARC break, affinity, reality, and communication breaks, which will thicken, or which will make clumsy your astral planes. So affinity, if you don't have affinity in a wider sense, so you'll not be communicating with a large section of the society, a large section of the universe. So affinity, you see. Similarly, reality means, suppose if I say, for example, a station. So what do you think? Is it a bus station, or one may think about a bus station, one may think of railway station. So reality, these are reality. So, and we are also not really looking at looking at the nature, what it is supposed to be. So this is a reality break. But if you look at the fifth or sixth dimension, in the animal and plant kingdom and elements, so definitely you will be in the reality. And this communication break, suppose let's say if you do not communicate with the objects, if you do not communicate, so you may get troubles from them, you may get you cannot handle what the problems come from them. But so these result in a withholds, withholds, and then they become in a present time problems. Present time is if you do not in the present time, so you cannot concentrate, or you cannot concentrate what you are doing. You will be distracted, and you'll just get all the emotions catching up you. So if you have that ARC, affinity reality communication, your astral will be more, and that they will become a withholds if they repeatedly happens, and if they more of withholds, it will become present time problems, which will thicken your mental planes, lower mental planes, and these when they thicken, so your soul or your being will not look at the higher planes, higher triad, cannot be the higher planes. So this is so if you want to be so we must try to be at the higher planes. That's what I and then master's work done only when your consciousness is in a casual level. If it is an effect if it is in a lower casual level means if you are in a higher mental plane, so you will be always in a casual level, and if you are in a affect state, so that is you are in a lower triad, so that you will be distracted by the emotions, astral emotions, and then thoughts, and then blocks, and these. So if you cannot uplift of self, masters also cannot communicate with you, and also you cannot be in the path of the masters. So whatever you do it heartily, and if you know that the master was coming at once to look at it, you just do work as if the master coming to you and he is looking at, so you do that perfectly the work. So even time is up, is it? Okay. So suppose confidence, like, so aham brahmasmi, so you are the element of the Brahma, you yourself is Brahma, you are a spark from the you are a spark from the God. So if you keep that one, so nothing is impossible, and you can do whatever if you will. So if you are at that if you think that you are at Brahma, so you can do that. So that much confidence you should have. These are the messages given by the Alcyon in the good conduct to get first initiation to the path of the masters. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you all.
Presentation. And before I winding up, there's Shikhar has got certain announcements. But one important point, that's At the Feet of the Master is a beautiful book. Because if you read more and more, you find more and more things in it. For example, this topic today is, there is a quoting. A great teacher once wrote, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away the childish things. Many people don't know that it is from St. Paul Bible. Thank you.